Embattled New York Congressman George Santos says he has temporarily recused himself from all committee assignments. His announcement comes amid mounting controversies, including past falsehoods and multiple ongoing investigations.
And here to discuss all of this is ABC News contributor, attorney Brian Buckmire, and joining us from Capitol Hill is ABC senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, so Rachel, let's start with you. Congressman Santos announced that he is recusing himself, at least for now, after his meeting with the House Speaker. And when you asked him about it, he told you it was his decision. He said, quote, "Nobody tells me to do anything." What more do we know about this meeting?
Well, we know that they met behind closed doors, Rhiannon, and this is where Congressman George Santos told House Speaker Kevin McCarthy that he wanted to step away from these committee assignments because he didn't want to be a distraction. And so much of the focus has been on Santos. I mean, this is someone who was elected by the people of New York, but ran on a resume that was full of falsehoods. He said that he graduated top of his class at Baruch College. That was not true. He said he worked for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup. That was not true. That his grandparents were survivors of the Holocaust. That was not true. He even said that his mother was in the World Trade Center on 9/11. She wasn't even in the country at the time. So all of these allegations, these falsehoods continue to pile up, and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy for now is not taking any action against him.
It's like one falsehood after another. And Brian, we know about the current investigations facing Congressman Santos. What type of trouble is he in? What is he facing?
A lot. Right now, it's just an issue of there's smoke, and the question is whether or not there's fire. So the Federal Election Commission is asking the questions of the filings, saying, okay, you don't even have a treasurer at this point. It seems to have gone through 3 different ones. Who's writing these documents? What did you do? But in terms of actual criminal exposure, it could be as small as a year in jail if you're talking about misfiling, or up to 5 years for misappropriation of funds. I mean, think of Michael Cohen, who got 3 years for similar charges. That's probably around the range we're looking at.
And Brian, sticking with you, the congressman said he will recuse himself from these committee assignments until the investigations clear him. Do we have any idea how long this could take?
The analogy I've been getting most people who ask this question is, think about the former President Donald Trump saying, yeah, I'll release my taxes once they're all done with this. I don't think it's as much as an actual plan as it is a way to kind of kick the can down the line to hope that no one's actually looking into this maybe a year or 2 later. It should be very quick, but lawyers might get involved and make it longer.
And Rachel, what's been the reaction to Santos's recusal from Republican lawmakers?
Well, I got to tell you, DeMarco, a lot of Republicans here on Capitol Hill are quite frankly relieved that he's stepping away from his committee assignments, because a lot of them do see this as sort of a sideshow. They want to focus on the work. They want to focus on this majority that they now have in the House. And they're also pushing forward to remove several Democrats from committees for their past behavior. And they didn't want this to seem as sort of a conflict of interest, or like they were being hypocritical.
And Brian, last week the DOJ reportedly asked the Federal Elections Committee to not take any action against the congressman. Why would they do that?
I think it's a matter of not wanting to step on each other's toes. Both can operate in terms of investigating or enforcement of violating election provisions. And I think the DOJ is saying, hey, let's take a look at this first. They often have a lot more of the power for both civil and criminal repercussions. And I think they might take this first step, and then the FEC can take the second if there is a need for it.
All right, let's talk about some numbers right now. According to a recent poll from Newsday and Siena College, 78% of voters in Santos's district believe he should resign, including 71% of Republicans. Rachel, Congressman Santos told you that he is not considering resigning there. And how unusual is it for someone to recuse themselves but still continue to try and do the work?
I can tell you, this is not standard procedure that happens here on Congress, because quite frankly, I mean, this is half your job, right? This is how you get your work done as a member of Congress. You serve on these committees, you get work done for the American people, you go back, you run on this when it's time for re-election. And so this takes away a lot of that. Now, one thing is key here. He will still be able to vote on pieces of legislation, and that is major, especially in this razor-thin House majority that Republicans have. They're going to need his vote.
All right, ABC News senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott and ABC News contributor Brian Buckmire. Thanks to the both of you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.